Hello, dear friends. My name is Gaston Milano, and I am CTO at GeneXus. Together with Armin Bachmann, we will be, Armin is product manager at GeneXus, and we will be presenting you this GeneXus 18 roadmap. For us, it's a true pleasure to be making this presentation for all the community in Japan. And we are really looking forward to traveling in person to Japan and seeing you all. So, in this introduction to GeneXus 18, together with Armin, our idea is to talk a bit about the good stuff and the main features of GeneXus 18. So, dear friends, luckily we are in a post-pandemic IT context. So what does it mean? It's basically the same, but perhaps the pandemic, as many analysts have already said, it has accelerated digital transformation. But the challenges that we have nowadays are even greater than the ones that we had before the pandemic. So this paradox of software that we always talk about, which is on the one hand, making software is becoming more and more complex, but at the same time, our users are asking us to have simpler software. That paradox remains, and this is just becoming accelerated because of this post-pandemic context. We believe that the challenges and the trends that are happening nowadays in the market, from a complexity point of view, they are becoming greater, and this is why we have tried to build on some pillars for the construction of GeneXus 18 that will mean that building software will be easier and simpler than if you use traditional methodologies. So what are these challenges from an IT point of view? Well, definitely Armin will remind you of this with our GeneXus pillars, but we know that nowadays building software, it means knowing that you have the use of different kinds of services that you need to be observable, so that you can observe the quality of your systems throughout the different steps of the process. You need to have also a greater level of security than in the past. You need higher levels of privacy in your data. You need your systems to be scalable to levels that you wouldn't have foreseen years ago. So from the point of view of software development, you need to be agile with delivery. You need to make use of what we call hyperscalers, cloud providers. And on top of all that complexity that we need to take into account, you also need to build what we call multi-experience or total experience, which is mobile, integrated experiences with super apps, also web experiences and conversational or bots experiences, together with many other experiences that may come along the way. So in this version 18 that I will leave it to Armin to introduce it to you, we are convinced that this is a step towards simplicity in software development. So Armin, the floor is all yours to tell our friends about the good stuff about GeneXus 18 and our roadmap. Thank you so much, Gaston. Dear friends, GeneXus 18 is the first version of GeneXus that has come after the pandemic. This GeneXus is the product of two very special years with a lot of learnings, as Gaston was just mentioning. It is within this context that GeneXus 18 proposes something that may seem like a paradox, which is to build something more complex but simpler. And as Gaston was telling you, to deliver solutions that are faster and at the same time make sure that you are future proof as we promise. So keeping that in mind, I would like to tell you a bit about the news that we have with GeneXus 18 that are based on these pillars. First of all, GeneXus 18 is supporting a business strategy that aims at a total experience. It seeks to improve the experience and the satisfaction and to have more trust and reliability in all the different actors of a system and a business, from the client to the end user, and also, why not, employers. So with GeneXus 18, you will have the possibility to create a total experience, new experiences, and you will get more adaptability than ever before. To achieve that, GeneXus 18 has incorporated a new design system called Unanimo. Unanimo is the design system that will be generic, by default, integrated with GeneXus, and it has been specifically built for mission-critical solutions. It is flexible, it is customizable, and it's extensible. Unanimo will give you a consistent experience throughout all your solutions, from mobile to web, from chatbots to inbox, from low and high modification screens to screens that will help you with security management. And on top of it all, you will be able to adopt Unanimo gradually in your systems. Also, for those scenarios where you need to have total experiences that are customizable, we have boosted the import from external design feature. Not only will you be able to import design from Sketch, but also from Figma. This means that designers will be able to work freely with their favorite tool and then provide you with that design, and someone that uses GeneXus can import that design and get a high fidelity solution with comparison to that original design. So this accelerates the design ops process. And the underlying secret behind all this productivity lies within the power and versatility of our design system object, a new object that has a domain-specific language for modeling design systems. And this design system, when it's well modeled, that is the key to achieve that consistency that you want throughout your solution to have a total experience strategy. And by using GeneXus 18, you will have the freedom to use an existing design system or to create one by yourselves. So I just want to highlight, on top of all this, that as usual, GeneXus always goes in keeping with the latest technology for the front end, both in web and in native mobile, and considering the latest stuff in aspects like security. Also, our BPM solution for GeneXus is more robust than ever before and has better performance than before. So its UI, which is completely out of the box with GeneXus, which is in this case Unanimo, provides it with the necessary levels of flexibility. And we also have a solution for dynamic forms in this GX flow that comes with GeneXus 18. The second pillar are super apps. So let me just share with you two quotes on which we have built everything related to super apps. First, that the super app can contain millions of mini applications, and each of these mini apps is dynamically loaded by the super app. But what's truly important about this is that creating a super app allows you to have new business models, new experiences, and new architectures. That means that it will give you competitive advantages that will be so important, which means that ignoring this trend could be deadly to your business. When it comes to businesses, building super apps can be a really good tool if you're trying to build an ecosystem, or just maybe in the case in which you want to accelerate growth in your business, because each mini app can be developed independently, and for each of them, you don't need to implement a lot of features, because all of that usually is accelerating the experience. Also, super apps can determine what mini app you should use depending on who you are, depending on your location, and the time that we are talking about. So those apps that cater for your needs as a user will be within that super app. So you don't need to go to a store to download a new application to meet those needs. And that is what gives it so much power and usability. And finally, when it comes to the technical aspect, considering that a super app can dynamically load other mini apps, you need to have a very specific architecture to overcome that, which is very complex to build. And this architecture is emphasizing aspects like security and privacy. Also, what's new about this is that GeneXus 18 has the technology to build a super app from end to end. So with the GeneXus technology, you can transform an application that does not need to have been built with GeneXus into a super app. Also, by using GeneXus, you can model and develop super apps and mini apps. And we also provide you with a mini app center, which is a catalog for these mini apps. GeneXus 18 will allow you to transform, model, and deploy super apps. And this is done thoroughly. So with GeneXus 18, you can gain a very quick competitive advantage if you become part of this trend. As a third pillar in GeneXus 18, we have cloud native. Now with GeneXus 18, you can build this kind of solutions with this sort of architecture. This is 100% GeneXus based and cross-platform. This is an example built on Amazon technology, but I think it's worth mentioning that we're also implementing this for Azure. And this is what it looks like for Azure. So in a nutshell, with GeneXus 18, you will be able to deliver modern, secure, and highly scalable solutions leveraged by the cloud. As always with GeneXus, we are generating for the latest technologies. So much so that in .NET we are generating for .NET 6 and we are integrated with Nugget. And of course we take into account the latest advancements in terms of security, and in Java we're also generating for JDK17, we're compiling with Gradle, and we're integrated with Maven. And needless to say, we're also considering the latest security updates in this regard. And as far as security is concerned, GAM, which is the integrated security module that comes by default with GeneXus, now gives you the possibility to connect to all the different identity providers that are leading our markets. On top of that, it supports multiple factor authentication and biometric authentication. All of this because in GeneXus now we have the support to leverage all these cloud services. The fourth pillar is the pillar on which the whole of GeneXus stands from version 1, which is that we are knowledge driven. In this pandemic, we had an accelerated evolution of a lot of systems, as Gaston was mentioning a couple of minutes ago, and we had several vectors. The only way to support all these accelerated changes in terms of experience, architecture, processes, and teams is by building knowledge driven. That knowledge needs to be formalized in a knowledge base, and that has always been and remains to be the basis that allows for our accelerated evolution that can be at the same time future-proof. So in GeneXus 18, modules have even more power. We can package and share with other teams, for example, a module that contains a whole design system. And on top of that, we can also package and share APIs. We are foreseeing an exponential growth in the use of modules after this. So we have already implemented automatic dependency management, and we have also empowered the whole experience of those that develop with GeneXus. So GeneXus 18 makes it really easy for those developers. Our fifth pillar consists of automated DevOps. So we have updated to this version all the tools that allow us to automate the life cycle of our solutions. Mainly, we're talking about GeneXus Server for development in teams and versions, and GXTest for test, automation, and modeling, and also for user interface testing. We have also improved our MS Build tasks for the automation of every single step in the process. And as a matter of fact, exposing these MS Build tasks and having such a level of granularity allows you to build the continuous integration flows or continuous deployment that you wish to build with the tools that you wish to use. We have also worked on making it easier to document the integration with Azure DevOps so that we can facilitate scenarios where you can integrate a project in the whole life cycle managed by Azure DevOps. So dear friends, with GeneXus 18, you are evolving consistently. You're building whole ecosystems. You are building faster. You're building knowledge-driven, you're evolving and adapting. That is GeneXus 18. And now I will tell you a bit about the roadmap that we have from now on for this 2022 and 2023. After releasing GeneXus 18 in the last quarter of 2022, we will keep on working to improve it on a daily basis. In 2023, we will improve each of the pillars of GeneXus 18. Our systems will have a better experience, they will be more scalable and more observable because of these improvements. We will keep on strengthening how we capture knowledge to facilitate the incremental development and a better modeling with GeneXus. Thank you so much, Armin. We believe that we have built a version, GeneXus 18, that allows us to take a good look into the future. So in summary, our roadmap focuses on capturing more knowledge to generate more value in less time, and even so remain future-proof in your organizations. It's been a pleasure for me to be here with you, presenting this GeneXus 18 version to you, our friends in Japan, and so, well, Armin, if you would like to say some words. Indeed, thank you so much for being such a huge part of this community in Japan. Thank you so much.